It's okay. Off your mic, it's okay. Off your mic,
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go sama us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh, yo yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh, yo yo. Maiyegun don come, man of the masses, oh, yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh, yo yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh, yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh, yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh, yo yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh, yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh, yo yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh, yo yo. Maiyegun don come, man of the masses, oh, yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh, yo yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh, yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh, yo yo. This one not dey off in mind, oh, yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh, yo yo. Person wey dey do evil no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he dey hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman pikin dey the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. This man not dey off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Aha, now him una don hear o. All these bad politicians them we call themselves politicians. When they thief our money, we no want make the common man get wetin him suppose get for this country. Una never hear something. Now go hear one. Maiyegun, you go show una paper. Maiyegun diary political. So my people make you shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. My people make we laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Maiyegun máa wí.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun diary politico.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
gbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Maiyegun diary, na him be number one.
àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dódòdó.
Maiyegun diary, na him be number one.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun.
Hello there. So good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is brunch time with Maiyegun live. And you know what the brunch time is? It is like a snippet into what is still to come later in the evening. Snippet. So, as you are joining us, right, read the caption of the broadcast, the description of the broadcast as well, the body. Then like it, share it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them that Maiyegun is live. Maiyegun today. And if you have done that already, thank you. Hang on, let me position this camera. No, the other way. Right. So thanks so much for joining me. The number is right there on the screen. Save it. It's just WhatsApp call only. And your call can be picked. You get what I mean? Like anytime. So yesterday, 2 days ago now, right? Remy thiefnubu, Remy Ahmed thiefnubu, Rat, the Nigeria's vex lady, told us that in 5 days, she's raised over 20 billion naira as money gifted to her for her birthday, for purposely to raise money for the completion of the National Library. Keeps reoccurring, right? So in their release, in our release, he stated that Buhari, the dead Buhari, also contributed to Rat's birthday gift called National Library. I don't know how to tag the money, right? But it was meant to be a 65th birthday money. Now, Buhari, she didn't state how much Buhari gave her. However, Buhari is listed among those who gave her money. Buhari's widow, alleged widow, Aisha, also gave her money. Then she listed Okpebholo, those who are working with her husband. Okpebholo, his deputy, Abbas, his zone deputy, state governors. And in 5 days, they gave her 20.5 billion naira. And it's still growing, by the way. And you could wake up tomorrow and that could be probably 30, 40 billion. So to say, a birthday has come and gone, by the way. But here, for context, 20.5 billion naira. Just for context, right? IGR by state in Nigeria. Okay? So that you can have an idea. Say, okay, the entire Zamfara state, as of 2022, generated 6.5 billion. This was for a whole year. And in 2023, they said they have generated like 22.1 billion. That's the growth, right? Now, if you look at that Zamfara is the least too. Here you get. Now, when you begin to check the revenue of each state, and this is yearly or not monthly or just yearly, and put that side by side to, with what Remi Werikwe said she generated. So these are sort of like triggered reactions. There's always a reaction, right? So trigger reactions and people asking questions and documenting all of these. Okay. So they are saying that open money laundering is taking place right before your, or pretty much like the celebration of corruption, which has become so legitimized in that contraption under the APC. So open celebration of corruption, like people who will steal from the public till, not from their pockets, from the public till, and gift it to, like crowd fund for an individual whose office in itself, right? Whose existence simply because she's the wife to your president, so to say, So a lot of reactions. But Buhari, I wish they could probably allow a bit of a probity so that you can know how much Buhari gave from his grave, So, or somebody gave on behalf of Buhari, but it was listed that Buhari actually gave them money, gave Remi Werikwe money. So it's like that. When Buhari himself heard that. Now something else, still talking about money. Okay. So I think it was also 2 days ago, right? When thiefnubu's taxmen, the pickpockets, were having a media sort of engagement to explain to you why they are still borrowing despite the increased in revenue or meeting their revenue target, like Tinubu said. Somebody asked that guy, and his response was that it's like this: you have a budget of 100,000 naira, right? And then you projected that you are going to have a revenue of 80 naira, and you decided that you're going to borrow 80,000, and you're going to borrow 20,000 over the period. And before the August of that same year, the 8th month, right, you've already met 90% of your revenue target. Something like that's what I said, yeah, revenue target. So, but you see how the plan of borrowing, because it's part of your plan, part of your budget. So that is what he gave us an excuse for why they are still borrowing. But he lied. Yes, he did. He lied. Because if you compare how much they have borrowed and how much they intend to borrow, as well as how much they said they have made, they've made from revenue and the rest, if you put them side by side, nothing makes any sense. Let me give you an example. They claimed that they have increased revenue from all sources. So you get non-oil, oil, gas, whatever, then other taxes including non-oil, they call it. So they have increased their revenue by 411%. In that sense, right, according to them, they should have enough money, so to say, to fund their own budget. Or no, their budget is 50 trillion, if not more. Even though they are currently operating about 4 budgets, by the way, but that's a different story. So their budget is about 50 trillion naira. And they projected that they would generate, by increasing tax and the rest, they would generate at least 25 trillion. However, with what they claim to have been increased revenue disorder, right? So they are claiming that they have actually or have the capacities to generate over 30 trillion. So they still have deficit of 40%. Mind you, projected revenue is like saying, oh, I intend to make, all things being equal, I'm going to make 100,000 this year. All right. It's not like you have the 100,000, just project it. And then you begin to hustle for it everywhere until you get that. And then you can fund whatever you want to fund. That's not what thiefnubu and his gang have been doing. So to them, they've lined, so they have kind of like outlined their plan of just borrowing and printing money, which this guy denied. He said they have stopped printing money now, which they call the ways and means. And the story went like, intertwine one another. But let me begin the breakdown down to the best of my own ability. So when thiefnubu came in, Buhari already printed and squandered 27.5 trillion naira. They printed the money and it disappeared. That money, around the time, the value of it in dollars was $50 billion. Nobody could say what they used the money for. So when thiefnubu came in, within a space of just 1.5 years, thiefnubu himself had printed over 20 trillion naira. That time when he first came in, that was why last year, I think, thiefnubu came out, or thiefnubu's men, they came out and said, oh, they are going to securitize, they're going to securitize the loan. That means the money printed by Buhari with the interest of about 1.something trillion to the central bank of the country, which destroyed your economy to some level before thiefnubu came. Then he just came in and he just kind of like finished it up. And yeah, took it to where it is and hoping that it will begin to kind of like decline back at some point. And if it doesn't get back to where you were, at least you'll be grateful if it's kind of like, descend a bit, sort of. Thiefnubu-nomic. So they decided to now, before they printed their money, or after they have printed their own money, they now said, you know what, thiefnubu has paid off the nearly 30 trillion printed by Buhari. He didn't pay a dime, he didn't pay any jack back. But this is how they doctored the book, make it like, okay, Nigeria will now pay it as a loan for the next 100 years. Money where they print for the central bank. He didn't pay it back, but to doctor the book, to make everything look like, we have cleared the backlog, we have cleared this and that, when they didn't. So the sharp doctors, they doctored it, put it that way. And right now, according to this Aditya thing, he said, no, they've stopped printing money. There's no point in printing money anymore because they are making enough money. Like there's money. Revenue, this or that. But how come you're still borrowing? Why do you need to borrow like nearly $22 billion? Like everywhere you've been to, it's about like beggy, why? That's why he gave that excuse. And I said, how does $22 billion dollars, if they finally access that, is that 20% of your budget when it is practically almost 90% of your budget? That's what you want to borrow. So where is this money? That's what somebody asked him. His response, Adedeji, your tax master, FIRS guy, some called him MC Oluero in suits. I don't know what you call him, but listen. Mr. Adedeji, yeah.
So we don't need to rush them. I will start from my sister, ways and means. What we said is that we have stopped ways and means. If you remember, one of the decisions of Mr. President is to collateralize ways and means. So we'll stop printing, and then the whole loan is taken as federal government loan. And we are paying principal, we are paying interest. So the loan, and that is why you have the stability in the system. That is why you don't have the pressure on exchange rate, because all pillars of the real economic indices are firmly grounded. So it's not about how much, it is about the fact that it is well recognized in federal government book and as part of the loan that has interest and that we are paying back. And that is what I mean by we stopped it. Not only that we stopped it, we are servicing the loan. And when you say you service the loan, what it means that you pay capital, you pay interest depending on the approved tenor of that interest. That is what it means. My sister from my right, thank you for your good question, and it is the right time to check because without want to throw any jibe, what is the component of a budget of a country? So you have your expenditure, you have your revenue, and you have loan in all budgets. So if my expenditure for this year is 100,000, and my plan is that 80 will be from my revenue and I will borrow 20, and I've done revenue of 90 and I'm borrowing according to what I have in my budget of borrowing 10. So what is the problem in that? And another thing that people should understand, borrowing is not a problem. Forget that banks are part of our economic ecosystem. There is no country or an individual in the world that so don't forget that borrows from banks. It's from that interest they pay their salary. It is from the salary that bank pays that they pay taxes to state government. It is from this profit difference between deposit that give them profit that I collect tax. So when you say you go for lending, what anybody anywhere is that you go for sustainable, and that is why you see what Mr. President or Minister of Finance. Have you ever had Minister of Finance say that he's borrowing to pay salary or to do anything? And why do you do it? I'll give you a typical example. Look at this structure that we are in. Imagine that it has not been built the year it was built. How much will it cost today? So you borrow in order to beat their cost in the future. That's one. Secondly, you borrow because of what we call matching concept in business, most especially when you have continuity. Anything that I will use that will go beyond my lifetime, why do I need to use my own time to do it? So when you borrow to do road and you collect taxes in the future for anybody that is using that road to pay their own fair share. So when you see we borrow, it is part of economic plan. And you, any company or any country that will grow has to borrow because it is part of the ecosystem of a viable nation. So when those people that are just container economics say they borrow, they do things, I look at them. And you will see that as much as you invite me, because sometimes you look at those people that want to engage you. And do they really ask the right question? Or do they even understand? Or they are also downloading what people are downloading on WhatsApp? And and they are asking questions. So when Mr. President said we met or we are doing well in revenue and say, hey, why are they borrowing? Is borrowing not part of the budget we submitted to National Assembly? Is it not what is approved? Are we borrowing outside what is approved? But you know, most of them, they find it difficult to just check what goes on, and thank God our people are here.
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
Don't think he didn't know what he's doing, right? That is the tax master of Nigeria, appointed by thiefnubu, explaining to you when somebody said, oh, hang on, you have been rolling out all these figures, and they all look so good. How come that your excessive borrowing, which you have been hiding, they are doing so well to hide some of them? They will call them, they will call them bond. They will sell bond just to take a quick cash, small loan that they will use crude oil to fund later. So the primary thing is this. people can read how much loan already approved for thiefnubu. And yeah, in fairness, doesn't mean that once they approve loan for them, they've automatically got the loan. Do you understand now? So it's not like that. And that they approved, for example, $22 billion loan for thiefnubu. When you read the approval from their National Assembly, right? It will say, oh, the money they can go ahead and borrow between this year and next year, to keep you confused. Now, the National Assembly of Nigeria, based on the happenings or on facts now, National Assembly of Nigeria received loan request from thiefnubu, and they approved the loans. And usually, right, if you want to, apply for the loan approval before you go out and borrow, first you would have been, you are kind of like assured of who is going to loan you the money. Number two, when you present such to the National Assembly, right, you have to attach what you want to use the loan for. Do you understand? Like, we are going to take $3 billion from the World Bank for electricity projects. What electricity? This particular project, they will name it. All right. We are going to take $1 billion from the IMF, okay, for this road construction. Yes, they will name it like that. So the National Assembly guys will scrutinize it, see how they arrive at how much, they arrive at that number of loan they want to take. Like, how did you arrive at 1 billion? How did you arrive at, you know what I mean? They will scrutinize everything, then approve if they are satisfied. But that is not what they are doing in Nigeria. So to thiefnubu, it will tell, they said that the federal government project, listen to this, so the presidential legacy fund or something, which is that thiefnubu set aside, which is set aside a different account that has nothing to do with the National Assembly appropriation. There is no scrutiny and anything. This fund is called Presidential Infrastructural Fund. And this fund is not like a set aside a fund from a particular money. No, it is just like a rules put in place to say they will use loans to fund thiefnubu's presidential infrastructural fund, which means like he's doing the Lagos Calabar, and there is no appropriation for it. It is not in your budget, and it doesn't have to be. By law, it should be. But thiefnubu and this, Okpebholo and gang, right? Doesn't matter. Whatever he wants, they approve, because they get their own kickback from it as well, without asking questions. So then, that then comes to you, that they are blamed for not paying enough taxes. A lot of you don't pay taxes. The excuse of those who have not been paying taxes, according to them, is that why should they pay any tax to criminals who are going to steal the money? But that is not an excuse. Tax is law, and you don't break it, so to say. But you can also hold those who are spending your tax money, like ask questions like that lady asked, and he started talking rubbish, container economists, blah, 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 throwing jibes, right? You claim to have, let's say, for example, now, your monetary target or revenue target, which is going to come from sale of crude oil, taxes here and there, including import duties, or those money that they, put everything together. Your target was that you want to squeeze Nigerians of 30 trillion naira. And you have told them that right now you have even like made almost 40 trillion naira. Okay. However, if that is true, it will make sense to say, listen, with your taxes and all of that alone, that we have revenue we have made, we have been able to fund this, to fund that, and that's what we're using to fund this and that. And that is why we have reduced borrowing. That will make sense if it's true, but it's not true. thiefnubu and his gang accounting, they're counting loans as revenue. in their document that they are presenting left, right, and center. They are borrowing money that they won't pay back for the next 100 years. There's a particular loan that is running in Nigeria right now. It's a World Bank loan. It's going to run for the next 89 years. There are probably like 4, 5, 6 generations or 8 generation Nigerians that will be born, and they will be born into poverty because they will tell you that loan is good, which is not wrong. You know, loan is really good to actualize infrastructure, to fast track infrastructural development so that at the end of the day, those infrastructures will eventually pay back the loans, right? Critical infrastructure. When you take loans and say, because the conditions that come with these loans are economic conditions, so conditions that will go back in to, to give you more austere measures. These are conditions. Loans are not money they give to them and say, okay, take, go and develop your country. That's not how it works. Or maybe if you now use their loan judiciously, not corruptly, there is a chance that you are not going to be going back to them every now and then. Because if you use the money judiciously, rightly, and improve truly on the infrastructure of the country and productivity grows in the country, there is a chance that you won't be returning back to them to go and take all those horrible conditions again. But that's not how it works. That is not how these guys operate. So they'll paint pictures. I mean, come on, man. We all experienced the Buhari's time. What was that thing that these guys didn't say under Buhari to make you believe that now you they get problem? Now you say all this every time you are complaining, everything you are the one who has problem. You understand what I mean? They nearly made you believe that every criticism of what Buhari and his gang were doing around that time, you know, was more or less like you hating because Buhari is like APC. Buhari's idea was for your future. When Buhari was done, you all know that there's practically no future left. They are doing the same thing right now. I remember when they brought out their policy of shutting down the western border, the southern border of Nigeria, because they want to stop smuggling of rice, right? And then they left the northern border opened. The Ronukus were everywhere defending, I don't know if some of you will remember, they were defending it. As businesses, as people's livelihood were being destroyed, they are not smugglers, but say, oh, do you understand? You shut the border against smugglers. What about legitimate people who uses the border? They were all shut out. So rather than for the smuggling to now stop, it skyrocketed. Even custom officers were doing smuggling under Buhari. But there were those who spent days, months, even years defending that. Nigeria wants to be sufficient in food production. We must stop importation. But Buhari's decision was fine. It destroyed lives. Before the end of that is murderous, inglorious tenor. Thiefnubu is doing the same right now. Clowns are sitting in front of cameras, right? Rolling out a fake data that does not correspond with reality. And they are paying online trolls to force that down your throat. When they are done, whether not 2027 or be 2031, these criminals will jump to another person if they have the power still, like they did. So they will jump to the other person, and if they lose the power, they will disappear. You won't see them again. Majority of those who were like this online, Facebook bandits, social media artsmen then, remember them? They disappeared the moment Buhari's time ended, and some switched to thiefnubu, others rebranded to become something else. But lives are being destroyed, while these clowns are kind of like a smiling to the bank. My own opinion. Anyway, that's Sayodechi. And somebody was taking him up on that. It was Sakwati.
0.64%. What we must warn against is the National Bureau of Statistics consistently playing politics with statistics, to use statistics to make the government of Nigeria look good. Now, the non-oil sector that they are talking about, 3.64%, they rounded it up to 4%. So they contradict themselves when they are playing games with these figures. The truth of the matter is that the growth in that non-oil sector is in telecommunications, it's in services, this domestic delivery service. It's okay, they added real estate to it. In other words, what you have is that you have an informal sector, an invisible sector mostly, that you cannot really measure. But when they do their measurement politically, they come forward and they tell you, oh, non-oil sector is doing very well. Against the background of the fact that the position in this country has always been how to diversify the economy, how to see that things are working within the economy. But agriculture, as in the same period that they are calculating, 2.82% growth. Now, we keep arguing that agriculture is the mainstay of this economy. Farmers in the food basket of the country cannot go to farm. The value chain within the agricultural sector is not working. They are talking about shea butter. They have said, oh, we will ban shea butter exports for 6 months. Where is the structure in place for consolidating, ensuring, value chain with shea butter? So these are the contradictions that we find there. But I think that the present end of the National Bureau of Statistics thinks that, he will survive for as long as he wants if he keeps using statistics to promote politics. I think we need to do a lot more in terms of agriculture. And we also need to do a lot more and focus a lot more on the omissions in terms of how this economy is structured. Agriculture in particular, 2.82% growth within the quarter. Now, that's nothing to celebrate. They are talking about rebasing. They are playing Ludo with statistics. No. Now, for this economy, for us to be in a position where we can begin to say, oh, a lot is happening, what Nigerians are looking for, what the experts, the Bismarck Rewanis, the Muda Yusufs, the Johnson Chukwus of this country, what I hear them saying, the Bongoadis of this country, is that, look, for us to begin to beat our chest in terms of the economy, we need double-digit growth. Not the 3.whatever% that the World Bank says is our best expectation, but a double-digit growth that shows that this is an economy that is on the foundation of productivity and that there is more that Nigerians can look at. That is that about that. I don't think MBS, giving political figures is something that we should delay ourselves with unnecessarily. Statistics should be factual. It's not about
I think na statistic we go chop. A lie with arithmetic that never, no Indian can solve it. I think na statistic we go chop.
So the man that said that, I think that statistics will chop has been rolling out fake stats. And if you disagree, they will say it is because you don't like Nigeria. You are not happy with the good news. But same way they tell you, say you are not happy with the good news that economy is getting better. The way is in Alabuli, in the basement, I slap you, rat hole that he lives. Right in there, where he just came back from the charging shop, where he was kind of like a powered his phone for a few minutes in order to come online and tell you that if you don't agree with that statistic or the statistics, it's because you hate good news. Why are you always sad when you hear good news about Nigeria? Why? They said the economy is getting better. Now I am now buying Gary, the Gary that I used to buy for 200 naira. I started buying, we were buying it for 2,000 naira. Now we are already buying it for 1,600 naira. Is that not getting better? Say, okay, yeah, it's getting better, bro. Yeah, it's getting better. Your free access given to you by Facebook will soon expire. And then you're going to confirm it to us again if it is getting better or not. In reality, anyway, the guy men are smiling to the bank. Their sewage dwellers are busy to convince themselves, right, that even if they are not feeling it now, they will still feel it later because the Tinubu is building their future for them. Yeah, the future. And that's tough because when people want to believe what they want to believe, it's kind of like a tough or difficult to bring them to reality. So something will happen eventually that will kind of like knock them back to reality. In the end, if they live that long to survive thiefnubu, because thiefnubu and the generation after thiefnubu, they call them elders and all that, but their mindset is almost the same. Those ones who have access to political power, public fund, they have exhibited, a kind of like a sick greed that a lot possibly can really comprehend, so it's like to understand, right? And therefore, you see those ones who didn't have access to that public fund per se, they come from the same, sort of like the same breed, so to say, the same mindset. To them, right? It is all right to be poor. There's no biggie there. Religiously, there's something God told them about, like being contented. And there's a man, I posted a video on Maiyegun's Diary Political, I think it was yesterday, a daily person, so to say. And it was on a podcast where they were talking about, this was before your 2023 Sharedo. It kind of popped up yesterday again, right? So the old man was talking about why he's supporting thiefnubu and all that. So the young ones were like, no, but why? What about our future? This, that. And the old man was like, since his birth, he has never, right, eaten 3 square meals before. How? So because you didn't eat 3 square meal in your life, as old as you are, that definitely means that those who have been economically, castrated right now, that could barely afford even a square meal, should be grateful because, I don't think I'm saying it right. Listen.
My name is Adisa Taiwo Ramon. I am a retired civil servant from Nigeria Power Authority and also a politician. This is the man that I root for, and that's President Bola Tinubu.
Can you feed 3 times in a day?
I have been living in this country when I was born in 1961. I have never secured 3 square meals since I was born. And nobody, until you become that rich, if I'm not a Dangote child, that you can say that a 3 square meal will be secured. In Islam, we were given this kind of a adage language: cut your stomach into 3, eat small, drink small, and let air breathe in your stomach. My name is Adisa.
Now to on far. Ma okuta to wa nbe ma yoku nbe. Ma sabi bata ban sa ewa. Now to on far.
And there are so many on social media now. Unfortunately, they are mostly from the southwest Nigeria. They are on social media. They'll be calling you, like if you say anything, you just see this useless old man come under your comments. Shut up your mouth. Don't you have any respect? Can you say that to your father? Old men, you are talking about criminals in power. But they are coming with, don't you have a parent at home? Don't you have this? I say, who be this one? Who be this Lori Bruku man? About now you did say this profile, I've been now your papa. You know what I mean? They are everywhere to make you believe that since they suffered, since they struggled for the most basic things, you must go through the same, even worse. Because they are the generation that believes that if you don't suffer for something, because their own sufferness is more or less like physical and mental. Do you understand? So they believe that if you don't suffer for something, you will not appreciate it if you have it. If you don't suffer for this bottled water, you will waste it, you won't appreciate it. So you have to suffer to get it, so that you understand that you will value it. You have to, you know that generation, Sha? And there are so many of them who are your parents too. They are our parents. Because everybody seems to have the best mom, the best dad in the world. My dad is the best daddy in the world. My mom is the best mom in the world. Somebody will be like, who's papa, who's mama? Conde Nigeria police. Who's mama, who's papa? They that, the boss's office in your school. Those mama, those papa that you meet at the civil service who are there demanding for money before they could even pass your file. Whose mama and papa be that? Somebody's mama and papa, somebody's world best mom and dad, who are best part of the rotten system, consuming everybody every day. So whose mama and papa are those people out there? Whose mama and papa are those ones who are looting your public fund, public resources? There are some people's mama and papa too, right? The best mom and the best dad in the world. Here is one of them. Okpebholo of Edo left Edo State, left Nigeria, and he traveled down to Glasgow, my city, just about 5 minutes drive from here. At what they call the Edo State Economic Summit, to attract investors to Edo State from Glasgow. Investors. Okay. So the Edo residents in, I want to believe, in Glasgow or in Scotland, you know, they were the host, I think. And dodoyo governor was there to tell them what he's been doing since he became the governor. And there is something about the Edo people, by the way, and I actually admire that, you know. Forget about Okpebholo. You see, these Edo people, they have this, I don't know who started it, but I observed it during the Obaseki time. When it comes to their elections, right? Those who are running for offices in Edo, they are not just campaigning for the people in Edo. They will now travel to go and meet Edo people in the UK. They will have a place, right? Edo people in America, Edo people in Kenya, you know. You will go and convince them too. I don't know how that works, right? You get what I mean? Like, so somehow, right, their public office, especially their governor, right, usually feels like he holds them a bit of an update, and I admire that. As much as it is mostly jamboree and all that, okay, but I actually admire that, I have to say. So Okpebholo arrived there Glasgow 2 days ago, and yesterday he was there to speak, and he shared what he told them, and I'm going to share that with you too, right? Investors from Glasgow to Edo State.
About Okpebholo, I want to first of all thank the people in diaspora. You are the reason why we are here today. So much has been said here today. It's all about Edo. I want to tell you, congratulations. because you choose rightly. When you choose rightly, a mistake is never made. You need to come to Edo now and see the difference. Sometimes I wake up midnight to ask myself, so all this project money we're taking away from this our land, and I feel sad many a times when I hear some people, you hear them saying, Obaseki has done well. Probably he has done well for them. But to me, he was a disappointment to Edo State. I am bold to say it because this is the 10th month now. We have renovated over 68 schools completely. When I passed through Tamboga Road, many a times I said, yes, Edo have done well for themselves. The depth of Tamboga area, when I went there, I was asking Sylvester, is there a road from here? And why did it attract my attention? Because when I was campaigning, I went there and I told them, don't worry, I could not cross. I remember Adam Soshomole was so bothered because we can't move in with vehicle. Even to track it, it was a difficulty. Odubo said, I brought you here so that you see the sorry situation of this place. I said, by the grace of God, we will fix this place. Today, work is all going. And that road will take you out from the Uniben, Aziz, from Upper Mission. Then what about the Ute Palace Road? Just to name few of these roads in Benin. I'm not talking about the Gelegele seaport that they were making noise about. If you don't have road to Gelegele, how do you enter the seaport? That road is 36 kilometers and it's ongoing. So many projects are ongoing. Hospitals, primary healthcare, just name the project. One thing that comes to my mind, the money of Edo does not belong to me. That will not make me rich. The only thing I owe Edo people is to use the money for Edo people. I am very wise. Quickly, I key into Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's The New Hope agenda. I stay out of eye service because eye service will not help me. Every day, what I promise my people is practical governance. It's not my duty to stay in the office. It's my duty to go and see for myself and correct the wrong. That's exactly what I'm doing. Why did I say I'm very wise? It is because when the president came into power, the first thing he did, he said, oil subsidy is gone. The same way I said, killing of Edo citizens must stop. How do I do it? I have to send a bill to the House, stiff penalty, so that I can carry it out. There are frustrations here and there, but don't worry, I will get over it. Today, Nigeria is very safe for investment. The economy is growing. The World Bank, the IMF, have rated us very high. The president has been able to stabilize our economy. For months now, the rate to a dollar is stable. So that is stabilization. The the president has been able to bring about reforms that are very, very painful. On the long run, it will put Nigeria on the right track. To me, that is the kind of man I should follow. That is why I was quick to say, I am promising Mr. President. Today, I'm even very happy to hear that we have over 2 million people in UK here. So I promise Mr. President 2.5 million votes. If any of you here can call your family back home to say, vote for Mr. President. All of you here, I know you have 1 or 2, 3 persons back home. 2 million people talking to 2 persons. But it is a privilege to stand here before you today at this Global Business and Investment Summit here in Scotland. Today is about investment, connection, and the courage to see Edo State as a frontier of opportunity. Edo is there for all of us to come on. About Okpebholo.
I'm move past you. You know I'm rich me guy. I swear to God that talk I'm move past you. I'm move past you again. I'm move past you. Ask anybody. See, you go argue this thing, but I swear to God I'm move past you. You don't see where they move before. Me again. I'm move past you. I'm move past you.
Wise man of Edo, you know. So he went there to remind them that the Obaseki's government stole the money that was supposed to be used for the for roads and what have you. But he, in the last 10 months, had fixed 68 schools. And there are still more going on and all that. Then the roundup of that chart, okay, was to say every Edo person in Scotland or in the UK that they have up to 2 million. You see, Nigerians are number. Nigeria, somebody said Nigeria has a number, they have a number problem. You know, you say, man, it's uncountable. Is there anything uncountable? It's uncountable. You know, 100 million, billion, thousand naira, kind of. Here you get. So yeah, they keep their diaspora Edo updated. And for those who know very well, right, there is a sizable number of at least people from that space, Edo State, in the diaspora. And for those who also know better, they said that politically, truly, right, Baba, they have that kind of influence. Yeah, the influence that the political class recognized enough to always approach them. But business and investment summits. If you want to do business and investment summit, you bring them, you say everybody should come to Edo, to come and see Edo, the beautiful Edo. I want to see, this is what we are doing. I'm not the type that will come and tell you there. No, and show you pictures. This is Edo. Let's do 1 week business and investment summit for the diasporans, right? And then let everybody come back. Show them around what you have done, what you are doing, and now they can be part of it. I think that would make sense. You know, like other places too. When it comes to road infrastructure, right? Edo is one of the worst hit by that pandemic, so to say. Let me put my phone in my front because it seems that some of you are already trying to call it. But let's go to Ogoni in Rivers. So yesterday, right, Foolbara led the Ogoni elders from Rivers State to go and see thiefnubu. And their proposal then was more or less to say they are united, they are no longer fighting, blah, blah, blah. And right now they are ready for, I don't know. But this is a recurring decima in their, in their politics in that place. When Goodluck Ebele was there, a man from Niger Delta who was very much aware of the, what do you call it, the environmental ruin that oil exploration caused in Ogoniland, which led to the historical restive period that also led to the death of, some of their prominent sons. Remember the Ogoni 5, I've been Ogoni 4, I've been Ogoni 7, remember? Yeah. So it was that bad. And for years, even since the days of Abacha, they placed embargo on oil exploration in that axis. And for years, they have not given the green light. So under Egbereju Lantern, nothing was done. Then Buhari came. And in fact, Pastor Ruga, Ikene Shatabandu, was sent to this same Ogoniland. The video is still online, but I don't want to bore you with that. Just back up, right? So Pastor Ruga went there to speak to these Ogoni people. And then he told them that Buhari had secured a $2 billion loan, which would be for the Ogoni cleanup. You know what they want to clean up in Ogoniland? They had this oil spillage that was really, really bad. That it destroyed the soil texture of the place so bad that probably like a 2/3 of the land is not cultivatable. Is there a word like that? Cultivatable. I don't know. You shall know what I mean. Like they couldn't cultivate the land, like they want to grow anything. The spillage, including gas flaring in the axis as well, has caused so much destruction to the same water system in that place. So the aquatic life is nearly dead, if not dead. And you see the people living in this part of Nigeria, they are riverine people, mostly who are like fishermen and farmers. So now they go to their streams. For years, they go to their streams and they could barely see any fish to catch. And when they catch any as well, they are eating toxic fish, toxic water, toxic food, toxic air, toxic this and toxic that. This is their life. And they have been very, very persistent that except the federal government of Nigeria fix that, there will be no oil exploration in Ogoniland for a while. So Pastor Ruga said 2 billion was already released for the cleanup. They uploaded videos, but they uploaded videos because what they wanted to do then, cleanup means they would dig the sand all around Ogoniland, all the Ogoni communities. They would dig the sand, like they would dig like maybe 6-7 feet. Come carry all the sand, go pour them somewhere else. Then import another sand from God knows where. That process is called the cleanup. For their water, they would have to specifically treat the water bodies, the water streams and everything. So it's like a project that are serious. We say, I don't know if I think the United Nations and the rest of them are very much have been part of this whole conversation about this land. But they haven't done anything. They uploaded videos, they uploaded videos of trucks digging sands in what was supposed to be the Ogoni, right? They were digging sands and all of that, pretending that they were already cleaning it, then they stopped. But thiefnubu and Foolbara met with all these their leaders from that place. And somehow, they are not talking about cleanup anymore. They're talking about the resumption of oil exploration. I don't have details yet, but I'm going to go and find out who is now going to be the one exploring oil in Ogoniland in River State. Because here is what they told them. The fact that you don't allow them to take crude oil here has affected the revenue we are supposed to be getting. It has also affected the revenue we're supposed to be giving you share. So why don't you just let them do it and we can keep pushing for the cleanup later? That means let them let them release more toxic content into the environment, but we'll give you money, So I don't know. Usually, right, this particular oil block and the rest will end up in the hands of thiefnubu's friends, right? Like the OPL 45. What's that one? The biggest oil deposit in Nigeria, your biggest oil block in Nigeria. that they have been having fight over for years. Now they've cleared it, and it has been given to Ohando and Associates, thiefnubu's people, right? So this particular one too is likely going to go the same way. But to make them feel better though, thiefnubu awarded a posthumous national award, I think MON, CON, on the 4 Ogonis that were killed. I think were killed by in the struggle. So he gave them national award, even though they are dead. So national award, and everybody was happy. But how about the people of Ogoniland? Well, their trouble continues. This was thiefnubu talking to them, speaking to these Ogoni guests in this new deal.
We're not, as a government, take likely years of pain endured in Ogoniland. We recognize that. Otherwise, there would be no today. We remember this with solemn respect, the Ogoni 13, whose lives were cut short, and the many unnamed men and women whose sacrifices kept alive the flame of justice and freedom. They remain heroes of the struggle. The federal government fully acknowledges the long suffering of the Ogoni people, and today we declare with conviction, hope is here and is back with us. In June 2025, as part of the commemoration of our Democracy Day, our nation conferred posthumous national honors on the Ogoniland. Today, in completing the cycle of recognition, I hereby confirm national honor as a commander of the Order of Niger, CON, on the following inauspicious. Namely, Chief Edward Kopani, CON, posthumous. Chief Albert Badi, CON, posthumous. Chief Samuel Orage, CON, posthumous. Chief Toflios Orage, CON, posthumous. May their memories continue to inspire unity, courage, and purpose among all of us. May be peace and prosperity they sacrifice for continue to abide with us. I urge the Ogoni people across the clans, communities, and generations to close ranks. Put this dark chapter behind us and move forward as a united community with single voice reconciliation. It's not an erasure of history. It is the commitment to write the next chapter together with joy. I'm encouraged by the overwhelming consensus of the Ogoni communities to welcome the resumption of oil production under new equitable terms, resourceful commitment. Government will deploy every resource to support the Ogoni people in this march towards shared prosperity. It will be inclusive. I acknowledge the past grievances with the former operator. In 2022, the previous administration transferred the operatorship of the Ogoni oil field to the Nigerian Petroleum Company, NNPCL, and its joint venture partners. We shall honor and build on that decision. Accordingly, I'm directing the National Security Advisor to commence immediately engagement between the Ogoni people and NNPCL. It is joint venture partners and all relevant stakeholders with a view to finalizing modalities to begin operations. We have to start now. A dead asset is not valuable to the community, the country, and the people. The further we live and the longer we procrastinate or try to find other means, the worse it is for the people and for the nation. To align the environmental remediation with renewed oil production, the agricultural pollution remediation (APREP) must ensure effective and efficient functionality as an instrument of action. I therefore direct the Honorable Minister of Environment to work with the National Security Advisor and myself to fully integrate programs into broader dialogue and implementation process. To all of you, the Ogoni people, we have shown the entire nation what disciplined dialogue can achieve. To the dialogue committee, your work now becomes the blueprint for the implementation.
Nuisance leleyi. Nuisance leleyi.
And I don't know, sometimes I do ask myself, like, there must be something wrong in the spiritual realm that we must have done as a people, but maybe in our former lives, right? That warranted these kinds of heartless, selfish criminals to always be the leaders of that contraption. Thiefnubu is practically muzzling these people of Ogoni. And it's not going to end well. It has never really worked. And his own style right now is just the same bulldozing way of saying, you know what, the reason why they stopped the oil production, we understand it. We can deal with that later. But this is an asset that is wasting away. So we need to bring it back quick. So NSA, you and the Minister of Environment work together. That means to bobo them and make them feel like, oh, the Minister of Environment is now a place where the Vice President of the country went, and he gave a speech to the rousing, loud embrace. And the whole newspaper was like, Buhari resolved Ogoni problem. Buhari resolved 30 years Ogoni problem. Buhari settled 35 years Ogoni this. Buhari begins the cleanup of Ogoni. All of that dead now. That's part of that 2022. That was part of if it wasn't 2022, that was the latest one. This one was like around 2017. That Pastor Ruga went there and pledged 2 billion. I think Adesa is on the line. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm here, Maiyegun.
Oh, Adesa. How are you, sir?
Yeah, thank you. I'm good. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Please. Sorry for keeping you waiting there, by the way.
No problem.
Right.
Let me start from the wise man of Edo State, from new sheriff in town to wise man.
Exactly.
Just as you said, if you really want, you see, what an investor is seeing before they can come to a place to invest, it's not mere talk.
No.
Understand? You see a verifiable evidence. The road in question, you go to Edo State now, there's no road.
Absolutely.
Understand?
I'm seeing that all the time.
You could have taken them through. This is what we have verifiable. that you can invest on. This is what we have. Edo security is still at a 0 point now. Understand? So what investors are looking for, they don't have it. It's not about going to social media and be speaking, making noise and the rest of them. Okay, all the noise you make in Glasgow, where are the visual evidence of it? Say, okay, this is 36 schools I have renovated. See their picture. This is how they were before. This is their current state. This road is also area. This is how it was before. This is the current state. People, even a blind man can say, okay, you have done it. Not just come and give a renovate 30 school, 15 school, 100 school. At the end, that's nothing that was done.
Just believe
me. Understand?
Believe me, I can't lie for you. You should believe me. When I tell you that I've done this, I have done it. And then everybody will just be like, oh, that's amazing.
Maiyegun, there is a saying that it's only a fool that doubt evidence.
That's right.
Understand? It is only a fool that doubt evidence. When you see evidence, practical evidence, you don't need to doubt anymore.
No.
But when somebody come and begin making us on the media, I have done this, I have done that, I have done. There's no verifiable evidence there. Understand? So, secondly, you made mention of you don't know maybe what they have done that have affected Nigeria spiritually. It's not like that.
I know.
When you have public who do not hold their leader accountable, understand? Public who do not hold their leaders accountable, you continue to see some of this happening every day. When you see weak institutions, the institution who's supposed to stand tall above board and ensure that things are done, they are now supporting the same criminal. So you don't expect this to go well. It is not, some people say they cause like there's no cause. You and I know that if any little thing happen here now, you will see the whole people will come out.
That's right.
Everybody wants justice. And the justice must be done before you see them go back home. All the noise on the social media left and right, what have Nigeria done to it? Okay, let's see the current one. If it is in this part of the world that charges is brought against Wiki like this, the whole people will be outside until they remove him from that seat. They will not go back to their office. Should you know that?
I know.
Everybody will come out that by this time, this guy should step down, let everything be verified. After verification,
it's about 2 weeks ago or so. This month, was it not early this month, the Deputy Prime Minister of UK resigned?
Yes.
And what did she do? They said he used what they call the insider kind of like trading to make extra money somewhere. And then something like the money she wasn't supposed to spend, for example, like inflating train tickets money. This whole thing that they unleashed, they exposed to, Baba, reach £1,000. The lady resigned. Yeah, she resigned. Imagine this. She took land in London, right? The capital, that she took 2,000 hectares of land for herself, for her children. That her husband, right, just bought $2 million or $2 million house in America. Okay, like no. I don't think they even have a chance. Politicians don't even have a chance of getting to steal £100,000 in this country.
No, you can't do it. Not like Nigeria back of an institution, they compromise with the leader. Here, as I am now, if 50,000 pounds enter back a scholar in my name now, they want to verify every detail before I can even have access to it.
That is right.
Do you understand?
Immediately it entered your bank account, it will go straight to fold. Straight up. They will begin to ask you, even if you've been with them for 10, 15 years, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. They want to see evidence that leads to that transaction. You understand? But Nigeria bank, they compromise with the leaders. Understand? And that's why
it's not just like general. It's even in Nigeria too.
Yeah.
Right? If a certain amount of money just entered your bank account, right? The bank is allowed to alert the EFCC and they can freeze down your account. But not for these rogues too.
Yeah. EFCC is one of the worst institutions that they use technically in the eyes of the public. They are doing nothing while they are not doing anything. Because all that somebody was said that when you must report to EFCC, Do they report Yahoo boys to EFCC before EFCC carry their raid?
No.
They keep on carrying their raid against the people that are not even, look at the billion and trillion those guys are stolen. Understand? They didn't know the politicians, all the governors and the rest of them.
See, I have never even thought of that. Like, nobody reports
them
to the EFCC.
They just carry their raid.
So why do they need anybody
to report the politicians who are stealing? I don't know how true it is. It was yesterday I watched it online. How they invited this Edo Jerry, EFCC. I don't know. I saw it. I don't know if it is true. EFCC invited him to come and give account of the amount of money they see in his account. And he went the area of this church in Nigeria.
Sorry, I don't understand. Like, what are you saying? Are you talking about the?
I said that this pastor in Nigeria.
What?
No. Okay. There is this pastor in Nigeria. They call it Jerry Ezi.
Right.
So I saw that the EFCC invited him for query on his account and the rest of them, and he went there and he defended himself. And that's in my mind. I was now okay. How many governors, even the reported criminals to EFCC, the EFCC has invited to query them, now that they keep on covering them? Understand?
I know.
So this one was a pastor. That's why they invited him, and he went there and claimed that he's a pastor, and he pray every now and then. People click left and right, and they donate. He show evidence, all the transaction and the rest of it to them, and they allow him to go. I say, how many politicians think they have been crying about Wike has EFCC invite Wike?
Do you think EFCC
and the rest of them?
Among all others, so do you think the EFCC doesn't have with the Wike's dossier? They have his dossier in their kitty. Remember, they declared is now. He's then he's then Accountant General, who is now the governor of the state, Foolbara. He was declared wanted. He is still declared wanted. Do you know that? They just put it up there this thing because he's now governor. Foolbara was declared wanted by this same.
Both Foolbara, all of them, they are all criminal.
I know.
You know it. All of them, they are all criminal. Understand? So, and then issue of you have started campaigning now. He has started campaigning. Foolbara has started campaigning for Tinubu. That's what he's doing technically. To me. They are promising if you play with them.
They said that all the Nigerian Delta, all of them right now thiefnubu they go vote for. They are already like everybody
now.
Yeah.
So they have told you if you play a game with us, you will not get problem. You will come back to the second time. We win everything. You will come back. So do you want to lose? So that's why now he started playing with. He went there to thank somebody who removed him from office illegally. So he go there to greet him. Now he led the elders of Rivers to that side. So he now started playing game with them so that it will be well with him. Because you know, saying that Oshomo said, if you dance and play with APC, your sin will be forgiven.
That's right.
Understand? So now your sin will be forgiven. They will delete us the data from EFCC and it become a big boss. The question River people have not asked him is that one of the accusations is that Foolbara should be giving 30% of revenue of River State. Now that they have settled now, so 30% of River State, 30% of River State money will be going to him every month. So those are the questions the River State who should ask Foolbara. Now you will be giving the 30% of revenue of the whole state every month. So those are because that's what it means. He has settled with him, everything is okay. So let them continue. So he couldn't stand tall like Natasha to cross the opposition. Like look at a woman, Natasha. See what he did. Even though he has his own fault, but he stood against everything to ensure that he returned there. Even not even the court that was even misbehaved, he's supposed to have returned there since. So this man.
And now this one came back, and he started accusing his supporters that he not send them. That all these things they are doing is affecting him. Remember?
Yeah, he's a mumu now. He's just on a mumu now. He doesn't have. He just want to play along so that he'll be well with him. They say play along, you'll be well with me. You want to fight us? If we fight, we have all the power to fight you. Play with us, I'll be well with you. And he has started playing with them. My brother, thank you for your consistency.
The people, Abi?
Yeah, the state, the people.
Thank you very much, Adesa, for your time.
Thank you, sir.
You have a very good one. Now, let me take this as well. I think this is Prince Adewale, my own brother, the African Wahala. How you doing, Baba?
Yes, sir, Baba. I am good. Good morning.
So, the girls and the mom and everyone.
Yes, everyone is blessed. Thank you so much for asking.
You've got my time this morning.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yeah, let me. I'm gonna have more time starting next week. For the last few weeks, I've been very.
But we are here. I wanted to piggyback off what Adesa said about the reason. It was given a reason why we have a society that people just don't hold their leaders accountable, which is true. But in addition to that, I think some of the main problems that we have as a people is our religious convictions and our traditional belief system. I was having a conversation with one of my friends yesterday, and we both came to a conclusion that on an average, if you line up 100 people from every country around the world, 100 people each, the percentage of wicked people out of that 100 that you would find from Nigeria is higher than average of other people in the world. I might be wrong. It's just my own observation. I might be wrong.
Go on.
The reason why we are that way, as far as the religious convictions and the traditional beliefs, is that our people will tell you. I still had a conversation with my own mother, and she was still telling me on Sunday that, well, you can't criticize these pastors. These guys, they are the men of God. Once God has chosen someone, God says you should not question them. And I'm like, so if that's the approach, that means that we should remain slaves as African people. And she said, oh, that's an extreme point. And I said, if you look at the Bible, there is a chapter in the Bible, a verse in 1 Peter that says that as a slave, you should pray for your master and you should wish your master well so that your master can treat you right. I'm just paraphrasing, but it's in the book of 1 Peter. And if you interpret or if you implement that into your life as a slave, that means you should never fight against slavery. That is one angle where religion plays a huge role on our mind. It's the same way where it's evident. We all know that majority of these Nigerian pastors are thieves. Majority of them, they simply steal the people's money. They use it to buy same thing that the politicians buy, luxurious houses, luxurious cars, send their children abroad. The same thing that the politicians do. But when people come out to criticize them that, but why are these pastors corrupt? Why are they stealing? Other victims that donate money to those same corrupt pastors are going to tell you that, no, just leave it to God to judge. It's not your job. It's not your job to judge. Just it's God that will judge the pastors. Just God says once you. I'm just rambling at this point. But if you understand the point that I'm trying to drive at,
I do.
They will use religious reasons not to question those pastors. Now let's talk about the traditional beliefs. If you look at a guy like Omoyele Sowore, one of the reasons that a lot of Nigerians hate him is because he's brash. He has no respect for these guys. He calls them criminals.
If all of us are being honest anyway, because people who have no respect for you don't be demanding respect from you. People need to understand that, right? That if these guys, even somebody who is older than you, if they are talking down on you, it's going to be a matter of time before you lose your respect for them. That's a natural thing, isn't it? So how come those who are speaking to people treat them like they are just piece of shit, and the people themselves? And I mean, I don't understand, Baba. Eh? Sure. Why would they respect them? Why should anybody respect them?
I was listening to Shore's live stream this morning. He was fighting for some police guys, you know. Shore is always fighting against system. In that interview, some so-called journalists that came there, you know what's funny? The police guys that he was fighting for, some of them had brutalized him in the past. And he said it in the interview. He said, wasn't it this same guy, police guy that is now retired, that is now poverty-stricken, that we are fighting for because he was charged for corruption? Wasn't it the same guy that was brutalizing us during the end governance protest in 2023 or 2024? So Shore said, one of the interviewers, a so-called journalist, you know these Nigerian journalists, many of them are just, they're just funny. The lady said, the lady asked a very retarded question. She said, so Mr. Shore, if you want to rule this country, don't you think that maybe you should not be too harsh on these politicians? Maybe that's why, maybe your approach to, because you just call them all kind of names, you call them criminals, which is, the court has not called them criminals. So I don't know why you're calling them criminals. To someone like me, that's such a stupid question.
Absolutely. Right?
But to that Nigerian journalist, who represents the mindset of an average Nigerian, that's how they think. They genuinely are concerned that
let me
Shore does not understand.
Some of these things sometimes we don't know how deep the rot is, Baba. We usually say that there are so many of us that they took out of Nigeria, but they couldn't take Nigeria out of us, So I was in a shop this morning just to have it, refill. While I was waiting for my fish to get and all that, people Nigerians were inside the shop, so they were just having a chat. So there was this, brother, very good brother like that, right? So I've not seen him in years. So he was at the shop. Now, he was now talking about his trip to Nigeria last month. And he wanted to buy the yam flour, okay, the yelubo. And then he just remembered that when he was traveling through that Oyo part, right, people were still spreading their, the yam peels, the fufu store and all of that. They spread them on the main road with all the dust and everything around. And in his mind, he was thinking that, man, I'm going to eat this so. Right? So, and I was like, are they still doing it like that? Like if you go to all this Ogbomoso or your town and all these things you get to see in Ocean Side, they said, yeah, that I'm talking about last month. So I think in that process, I just went on to go and deal with what I want to do. But there were other guys in there. The conversation continued. And in the conversation, right, they started talking about Nigeria, that country, that this, that I was hearing them. So in that conversation, somebody now said, if Obi was the president, by now, they probably would have nearly burned the country down. Do you get that now? Because the people, the idea that I think is pushing with that kind of friends around him, right, is going to be, they are going to be his major, this is why they are conversational. Then another person just said, the only person that can deal with everybody, not sure. And then I was like, okay, right, not sure. But in that same room, that same shop, so one other person said, no, he cannot, the way the show is doing, he cannot be president like that. The way he talks and the way he kind of, anybody who wants to be president of that, you have to pretend, you have to. So in all of these characters sharing their own opinions, have all been living abroad for nothing less than 15 years. Do you understand that difference? Yeah. Somebody who have left Nigeria and he's been living permanently in the UK for over 15 years. But they still believe that, you know what, if you want to lead Nigeria, right, even though we all seem to condemn the system, but on the other side, it seems that what we are condemning per se is rather like it is not us in that power. But we want something different. Somebody who is doing something different becomes like, you know, a problem. I say, no, we don't like that, you're all different. We want the same of the same. That will look like slightly different. It's crazy. Yeah. People who live abroad who have that same sentiment also exist. And I can't blame them. Some will say it's reality. It's this or that. Same old.
It's because that's what they're used to. That's just their lives. And they've chosen not to change. We all change. We all experience change every single time. But people have to consciously and intentionally change some of their behaviors. For example, stop worshiping your fellow man. That's the first rule. If you can put everybody, every human being, at a level where they are not beyond criticism,
yes,
and they are not above praise,
that's right,
then you've done a good job. Nobody. Don't tell me that, our Oba, our king, or our pastor. Our pastor is our ancestor, or our politician is our Lord. Once you do that, you become a slave, and you've contributed to the mess that this world is, especially Nigeria. Because we're not going to pretend like it's just
they are humans. They are always going to abuse any privilege. They are humans. They are not appointed by any god. They are not chosen by any ancestor or review. All of these are human to create hierarchy, leadership, and orderliness. But when those who are supposed to maintain that orderliness are criminals, what you're going to get is disorderliness. So there's nobody God call you, and you are treating people like that.
Maiyegun, and finally, God did not create Nigeria.
No.
Human beings created Nigeria for their own selfish interest. In fact, the human beings that created Nigeria are foreigners from another continent entirely. They created Nigeria for their own selfish interest only, no other reason. So Nigeria is a byproduct of their exploration. And for that reason, if anybody tells you as an individual that, God has put us together, so let's make it work, it's a lie. It's a lie. Human beings created Nigeria. Thank you so much, Maiyegun General.
The African Wahala. Enjoy the rest of the morning, bro. So that's the African Wahala, ladies and gentlemen. Our time is coming closer and all of that now. We're here talking about the Nigeria and the police. Here is the police IG, the illegal IG of police in Nigeria, right? Talking about how, listen.
But our law does not permit us to parade suspects, criminal suspects. We don't parade anymore because we are law enforcers. We cannot be seen to be breaking the laws that we are supposed to enforce. Thank you. I have sounded a warning to the public against attacking police officers on lawful duties. Attacks on our men is unacceptable. We don't accept attack on police officers carrying out their lawful duties. Severally have appealed to the public that if they feel that they do not agree with the conduct of a police officer, they should please report that police officer to the authorities. Every state has a command commissioners of police. Every division has it. Thank you for your questions. Question 1 from N20.5b. You talked about reported bandits coming out for peace deals, and you want to know what my reaction is to that. Criminals who want to embrace peace, we won't shut the doors to them. If they want to surrender, they are welcome. But that does not mean that we are going to relax on our onslaught on them. Question 2 from Adewale Kehinde, Swift Reporter. You want to know what we are doing about attacks on our men. Of course, severally, I have sounded warning to the public against attacking police officers on lawful duties. Attacks on our men is unacceptable. We don't accept attack on police officers carrying out their lawful duties. Severally have appealed to the public that if they feel that they do not agree with the conduct of a police officer, they should please report that police officer to the authorities. Every state has a command commissioners of police. Every division has a DPO. Every area has area commander. We also have the complaint response units in all the states of the Federation, and their phone numbers have been displayed several times in the media. If you don't agree with the conduct of any police officer, don't attack that policeman. Report his conduct to his superiors. And I can assure you that such reports will not be dismissed. All necessary actions will be taken against that policeman. We have also announced disciplinary measures we have taken against erring police officers to encourage members of the public to report misconduct of policemen to us. We don't take kindly and we don't dismiss reports of misconduct of our officers. We discipline them.
Pastor, pastor, our mojo sticker ló ń ṣọ́ wa. Àṣé kò rí pé orí wa ti burú. Ìwọ má dira o, ìpápá ẹ̀dá lórin. Jẹ́ ká wà ní Báìbù tó ń jẹ. Kò jẹ́ gbèsè àgbẹ̀tọ̀ àbí kò gbẹ́rì tí kò gbé tí a fẹ́ jókòó tẹ̀rà. Gbẹ́rì tí bá yọ píù. Àwòyí àárín. Mo mọ̀ ní pé wà nínú Báìbù pé ìgbà tó fẹ́ mú Jésù. Jésù kọjá ní àárín òun ògèrí Jésù. Kí ni Jésù lò? Àfẹ́ rí ló lò. Ìwọ má dira, ayé bàjẹ́.
So the police IG, illegal IG, is begging you to please don't attack police officers. And I'm also saying the same. Please don't attack police officers. So I'm serious. Because number one, majority of them are madmen. You know what I mean? And from their conduct that we have records of and all that, right? So it's obvious that facing them and their guns, that, you know, it's pretty much suicidal, so to say. So please don't attack police officers. Report them, yeah, report them. So I don't know what else you probably will do if the head is rotten. I don't know what you expect of the body. So until the entire system is booted, right? Characters like this will continue to graze your screen, holding sensitive, important public institutions. You know what I mean? Like, it's unfortunate though. And as if that is it, right? Here is an event that is reported between the security guys and the youth of a community who are reacting to what you can say, pretty much like rejecting the police, exuberance, or the police overbearing attitude and all that, pretty much like their conduct, right? This one.
Advance your men, oh. Advance them, oh. Where the chairman? Where the chairman? Where the chairman? Advance them, oh. Advance them, oh. Go back. Go back. Oga, why you shoot yourself under my brother? Sorry, Now. Why you shoot? Why you go enter your motor? Go enter your motor. Now stand. Wait, now they grab you. No, not they do like that. Cannot be so. Yeah, you know, not be so. Not be so. You know, not be so. You cannot do something like that. Not be so. One. Nothing happen. You be draw. Where you from? Okay. You don't just see man. You don't just man. Hey, you stop me! Send them a phone, I won't stop for this matter. You're already
So the story behind that, right, is that it happened in Delta State, by the way. So the youth, the Autumn, so they're like a Yoruba, so Autumn youth community there. And then there is a company called the Webster, what's the name again? Yeah, Webster Global Ventures or something. So they hired Nigeria policemen, SARS, to help provide security for their staff in order to approach a community that the robo youths wouldn't want these people to enter. So it is in that way they blocked the road and all that, and the police started shooting to make their way, like bulldoze their way through to where they were going. So in Nigeria, you can hire them, you know. There's something like, oh, people are clashing there, let's call the police. No, the police is there because there's a likelihood that the parties having that altercations, right? There's a possibility that one of them is being protected by police escorts. So when you say you want to call the police is there already. So they are going to shoot their way through, have their way, and you can go report to the police commissioner, who happened to be the person who also authorized this private security job for the policemen. It's crazy. Yeah. And sometimes when the two parties clashing, right, if they both have a police escort, the policemen will be fighting themselves too. You'll begin to see the security of both sides, fighting themselves. What do you mean? Stop that. You know, two policemen. So you say, I'm going to call the police. Which police are you going to call? These are policemen who are supposed to be providing public, what they call it, safety, Abi. But rather, they have been hired by money bags, and their service and loyalty is to the money. So if they ask them to brutalize you, you that is paying their salary, brutalize all of that, say, do you know who you are talking to? And then you see all these formal poles come down. Like, I'm going to call the police. You are wrong. And you are, say, what police? Just see about 4 pole. And you, they will come arrest, put you inside one of their cars, a trunk, right? They put you in there and they drive you to wherever they want to go to until they go and dump you somewhere. This is how the contraption works. You know? Sad, Abby. There's something sadder. When a pastor in South Africa convinced his congregation and others online and offline that 24th of September, which was yesterday, was going to be a rapture day. He asked all of them interested to go to heaven to assemble at a spot where our Lord Jesus Christ will take everybody to heaven. Some of them were told to hand over their money to him. None of them who handed their money to him ever thought of like a waiting pastor could take money to when all of us don't go heaven already. But they still gave him his money and then went to the spot screaming to the heaven that he should take them. Take us!
Nation. They ban coal, we follow. They say firewood, not smoke. They say we need to plant more trees. And they are not giving us money. We need to open our eyes, shine it, and tell the West. If you don't guarantee our finances and work with us to stop this, we are not going to comply with your climate change. They'll do it.
They do it. Trust Koolu. They do it. People won't go heaven, but they don't want to die. And the fastest way to go to heaven religiously is for you to die. Then the other way to go to heaven is rapture. These people gathered for hours, screamed, begged, prayed. When they were tired, they all filed back to their homes, back to the life that they thought they could just shed off and go to heaven. Omo heaven you're gone. Oyinbo mad gonna shout like they're mad well. When I was younger, I had these images of heaven, angels and children, everybody wearing white and all of that. It's kind of fancy, you know. They said that, oh, you will never be hungry. I said, okay. I don't even understand how that's going to work, but okay. They said that you will never die again. You will remain young, sort of. If you die old, you will remain kind of like that old, and you're going to be energized and all that. They all have different definition of the heaven that they want. The religion, so different religions have their own description of what heaven is and what other punishment you're going to get if you don't do the good thing. And every one of them base their theory on just do what is right. I believe it's just a precaution to make people do right thing. People must be so horrible back then, like we are now, though. So they felt like, hey, of what? Oh, hang on. There's a Bible quote that says that what is the gain of a man that gains the whole world and loses his soul? Because your soul is going to go to hell or heaven. So they make you feel like, oh, do good. You don't want to end up somewhere bad. Sort of. Yeah. Unfortunately, those who have commercialized religion have a different, definition for how to go to the heaven or hell. It's crazy. Well, I mean, I want to go to heaven, and if not hell, that's something too, right? That's something. When people scared you about where you're going to end, I'm not a religious person, and I'm not trying to mock you. I'm just like a practical person, right? So it's just like the hospital, the crematorium, the hospital where they could do anything just to try to save you or turn you to a guinea pig, lab rat, to further study whatever is killing you or what has killed you. Or they fix you, right? And if they couldn't fix you and you're dead, you are taken to the crematorium. Or they take you to, what's that thing called again? Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that all these things were built for humans, for me, you. The graveyard, the hospitals, the review, the heaven, the hell. So it simply means that they are built for us. So if you do good, you go to heaven. Okay? If you do bad, you go to hell. And the thing there is that based on the theory of what will lead you to either side, right? So we're going to have more. Like it's not going to be one person that's going to go to hell or have you. So the point now is this. If God, who created heaven and hell, knew that some will end there, which means he knew those who are going to end there, those who are going to end in heaven as well. So maybe whatever you are doing right now, God said, maybe that's already designed by that God. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to be a good person, it's because that God designed you so that you can end up in heaven. You're a terrible person. Nothing anybody can do. You are a terrible person. Now God make you terrible, so you're going to end in hell. So either way, it's not even your choice. It's not even your making. If you're wondering, Maiyegun, why is that? I don't know. I just felt like those who have used religion to try to control your mind are also the same people who could indeed abuse such privilege as you have, as we are witnessing these days, right? So you shouldn't that's why they say religion is, don't try to understand it, just obey it and keep faith. That's all you need. If you question it, you begin to feel like, and this thing will make sense. So I'll go to, I'm sure. Anyway, my time is up. There's a caller on the line, but we won't be able to take that. Okay, let me go get ready for later this evening, where we can have a prime time. All right, and I look forward to seeing you then. Okay, thanks so much for your time. Like the broadcast, right? Share it if you haven't already. But if you have, that's enough. Join me later this evening, if you can. So good afternoon.
àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1.
bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí.
Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1.
ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Maiyegun Diary politico.
Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun.
Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1.
ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1.
àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dódòdó.
Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
òkúrọ̀ olóṣèlú.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
ha kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀ kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀ ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.